You're listening to the Decentralized Talk Podcast, your crypto connection.
Decentralized Talk. Decentralized Talk.
All right, guys, welcome to the Decentralized Talk Podcast, Episode 3. We got a great show for you guys today. We decided to get rid of the video. We're going straight audio. We're going to be talking about Starbucks and cryptocurrencies. We're talking about crypto controversy. We're talking about Bitcoin. We're talking about cryptos. We're talking about big bubbles. We're going to be doing a debate on EOS. We're going to follow up on who's winning the 2018 Coin of the Week. And I want everyone to remember that nothing on the Decentralized Podcast is anything that can be construed as investment advice. These are just our opinions. Do your own crypto research. I am Brandon Suttles, and I'm here today with...
I'm Heston Rennick, crypto investor. I'm ready to get into crypto controversy tonight. We're going to go over some big things like some bubble talk. Is this a bubble? Are we in a bubble? Am I a bubble boy? We'll find all that out today.
I'm Dustin Prater here, and I just want to let everybody know we got a new segment this week, 3-on-3 fast break. 3 coins, one each, from the 300 level market cap, and pitch them to y'all.
Yeah, and that's key because, Prater, tell me, so Prater came up with this segment. Prater, tell everybody real quick what's so special about the 300 market cap. Why are we picking that placement area? And you're talking about the 300 market cap. What that means, guys, is it's the 300 level, right, coins between $2.99 and $3.99 on coinmarketcap.com. Why did we pick those?
Well, it doesn't really necessarily have to be $2.99 to $300. But it just sounded better with the 3-on-3. Anything 300 and above would probably work. But the thought is, so at that point, you're looking at market cap levels of 30 million-ish. So the bigger coins are around, 200, 300 million market cap at least. So all of these coins at this level have a 10 times, 20 times, up to 100 times return possibility in the short term. That's the theory here.
Yeah, I think these low market caps, they get really good returns. You can definitely get 30 times returns on them, but they're extremely dangerous because we don't know a lot about them, and a lot of them could just fall flat on their face. So they're definitely high risk. It's not something that you should just throw all your money in. But if you want to diversify, it's good to throw a little into these super low market cap coins because a lot of them are on their early stages.
Yeah, and if you're looking for those big gains, right, that's where they're going to come from, I guess is the idea.
Well, a lot of the coins at this level are super sketchy, yes.
Definitely.
All right, we got This Week in Cryptos. So we're going to talk about Starbucks and cryptos. Who wants to start that off?
So this week, the Starbucks chairman, Howard Schultz, said the coffee chain plans to incorporate blockchain technology and digital currencies into its long-term payment technology strategy.
Yeah.
So, I think any coin that gets picked up by Starbucks as a payment platform could have a big future there.
Interesting to that. So when I read the article, the thing that created the most controversy for me, the thing that was the craziest part for me, was that he specifically said not Bitcoin.
Yeah, this is a quote from Howard Schultz. He says, "The reason I mention this is not because I'm talking about Bitcoin, but because and I don't believe that Bitcoin is going to be the currency today or in the future. I'm talking about the new technology of blockchain and the possibility of what could happen not in the near term." So he believes in the technology behind Bitcoin and the future of the blockchain technology. He goes on to say, I'm bringing this up because as we think about the future of our company and the future of a consumer behavior, I personally believe that there is going to be one or a few legitimate trusted digital currencies off of the blockchain technology. So he does see blockchain technology, being big in the future. I don't think he sees it in the near future, but he does see blockchain technology being a popular thing, and digital currency specifically being a popular thing. I'm guessing he's thinking it from like a mobile payment standpoint. Starbucks, they were one of the early adopters of mobile payments. You can order your Starbucks on your phone and pay for it on your phone and just pick it up when you get to Starbucks. Mobile orders now, they account for 30% of Starbucks transactions, and that's just crazy. 30% of Starbucks users are buying their coffee on their phone. That's pretty high. And so I think he sees an opportunity there if a digital currency can be trusted enough to do mobile payments. Something like OMG would be great for that. Something that's instant, super cheap transaction fees, and that can be done just from a mobile app. I think that's what he's looking at when he sees like the future of digital currencies.
So do you guys think, so Dustin, I'll throw this to you. Do you think, so when he says that he is not including Bitcoin as a currency in this concept, do you think that he is, you think he's actually like kind of disparaging Bitcoin, or do you think that he's saying that maybe he sees Bitcoin as a store of value and not as a currency?
I don't think he sees Bitcoin as a currency applicable to Starbucks. And the issue is with Bitcoin is the price, or one issue with Bitcoin is the price. I mean, if you buy a cup of coffee and it's Starbucks, I guess it's what, $10? I don't know. I don't drink coffee. But I know Starbucks is kind of high. But still, you're talking 0.0006 Bitcoin to buy a coffee. And I mean, it's possible, but it's also impractical. And I guess Amicio could get there eventually to where it's that the price is that high, but currently it's not. So it's a more practical use to buy coffee with a lower price coin. And if Bitcoin were to get to $1 million and their transaction rate to increase, I mean, then you could buy a cup of coffee for 3 Satoshis. That might be a practical use, but I just don't see Bitcoin as becoming the day-to-day transaction coin. It might be the store of value, but I don't think it'll ever be a day-to-day transaction again.
You think Schultz feels the same way?
I agree. I think the exact same thing. I think Bitcoin, its original idea, I think it was to be, the currency of the future and just take over instead of fiat money for day-to-day transactions. But now we're finding out when the volume gets as large as it is now, and it's not even on a global scale, like, a widespread scale, when the volume reaches this kind of magnitude, Bitcoin just can't handle it. So if you want to buy your Starbucks coffee for $10 and you have to pay $30 in transaction fees, it just doesn't make sense. So I agree with Schultz. I don't think Bitcoin is the future as far as day-to-day transactions. I think it is still a store of value, and I think it's a good store of value for the next 10, 20 years. But for buying Starbucks coffee with it, I don't think that's what's going to happen.
So I think we'll have to do some research into the Lightning Network and find out what the advent of the Lightning Network, if that reduces transaction fees and dramatically reduces transaction times, then is that something that becomes more plausible in the future?
Yeah, that's another thing too, is in the transaction speed. I mean, if I'm going to pay my Starbucks with Bitcoin and they're not even going to receive my Bitcoin for the next 18 hours, how is that going to work?
Not want that coffee too quick.
Yeah, you order it on your phone and you pick it up tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting that Starbucks is moving in that direction, because the Starbucks digital payment processing system that they have right now is complicated. Like, I don't even do it because in my old life I used to buy a lot of Starbucks, right, and take it to different offices, and what they wanted you to do was set it up on like a prepay. So you had to like pre-fund your Starbucks account, and then you could do mobile pays. Otherwise, they wouldn't take a call in over the phone. So if they've got, like you said, 30% of their population, of their customers using that mobile pay app, which is a little bit complicated, I think they're probably the perfect group, right, from a large scale retail perspective to try to implement a cryptocurrency, because it is a little bit more complicated. It's going to be something that you're going to have to go figure out, and probably be more of a young millennial, or be somebody who's, like you said, like an early adopter technology type person to get involved in that.
Yeah, and if you look at the past few years, just speaking of Starbucks specifically, their mobile transactions have increased every year. 2015 it was 27%, 2016 it was 29%, and now it's 30% in 2017. So, more and more people are using their smartphone to transact and buy goods and services, just because mobile smartphones are capable of doing anything nowadays. Digital currencies are kind of the next step.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I do want to point out really quick, Bitcoin right now is up. Let's see what it is up over the entire year, right? So year to date, what is it at?
It's probably
That's another
down
problem with Bitcoin. If it takes 18 hours to transact your Bitcoin, when you buy the coffee, you might have bought it for $5. When you get your coffee, it might have cost you $10.
Yeah.
Bitcoin right now is down 0.079%, and quarter over quarter, Starbucks is actually down 5%. So maybe it's the case that Starbucks won't be around over the course of the next 5 years. And then Bitcoin.
Yeah. I'm sure that's what's going to happen. Starbucks, they just can't get it right. They just cannot get it right.
Well, it's their holiday sales. Their holiday sales sucked, and that's where they spend the money.
I did hear that they since they were down in 2017, that's what they blamed it on. They said that their seasonal drinks, they didn't fare as well as they anticipated. All their little.
So, are you guys anticipating? Speaking of anticipation in Starbucks, are you guys anticipating a Starbucks ICO? Bucks.
No. And
he
they actually came out and said.
Yeah, they said they're not going to do that.
Doing the ICO.
Oh, well, I trust the CEO then.
Yeah.
He's not going to do that. And honestly, it seems like they would call it Starbucks.
That would be the perfect name.
All right, cool. So let's talk about the bubble, Bitcoin bubble. We got the crypto bubble versus the .com bubble. And I know both of you guys have done a lot of research into this, kind of comparing and contrasting how each bubble forms. Are we in a bubble right now? What part of the bubble are we at? We don't know. So, Prater, tell me a little bit about your research into. Are we looking at something similar to the .com bubble, or where are we at in the bubble?
I mean, it's possible. It's hard to tell. It's hard to relate the two. Obviously, we're getting a lot of gains, and it's similar to the .com bubble, where it's driving up the price. There's a lot of speculation. Nobody really sees what the future is going to be for blockchain technology. It looks like it's going to be there, but in what area, what arena, where is it going? So there's definitely a potential for a crash. But in the same respect, I mean, Bitcoin has crashed roughly once a quarter since its creation, basically. I mean, you're looking at
and not just mini
12 crashes. So, I mean, who's to say the bubble hasn't burst? It's already burst 12 times.
Yeah, and some of those bursts were 40%, 60%, even the 2012 burst was 80%, 82%. So, yeah, it's burst a lot. So what point are we in the bubble? I mean, if you really want to compare it to the .com bubble, there's similarities there. I mean, the .com bubble was very speculative. And when you're looking at a lot of these tokens and coins, say Tron, for example, when you're 10 years out from a finished product, you're just speculating and thinking it'll be big, just like you thought Pets.com would be big or you thought Alta Vista would be big. You know, you're just hoping that these businesses will make it. And so there's similarities there.
I'm going to hate on Pets.com.
I thought it would work out.
It was a great idea.
Yeah. They should have gone with PetSmart.com.
PetSmart booming.
But if you look at the size of this quote-unquote bubble, take the .com bubble, which at its peak was about $2.9 trillion at the market cap. And you take the crypto market, it has a market cap of about half a trillion, 581 billion right now. So, I mean, if you really want to compare it to the dot-com bubble, we are still in the baby stages of this bubble.
Yeah. What happens if we see another, what seems to be kind of foreshadowed here already, if we see another one of these 80% drops in Bitcoin? There's a lot of people out there that want to claim to be a hodler. I'm a hodler. If Bitcoin drops 80% right now, there's some big questions that arise. Do you hang around even if you believe in the concept, right? Do you hang around? Do you get out early? If you hang out into the midst of this 80% drop, do you kind of panic sell when it goes back up another 40% on its rise to $100,000 a coin? It's a crazy world.
I mean, I personally, and again, this is not professional investment advice, but personally, I think you do hold through those. You hold strong, because if you look at all these crashes that happen, they come back stronger. And even though some of them take a long time, like the 2012 crash, when it crashed 80%, it took 2 years for it to come back. But oh boy, did it come back. You might have bought it $1,000, and if you had the balls to sit through it when it dropped all the way to $100, you sat there for 2 years, but then now it's up to $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. You made it on okay, definitely. So, yeah, I think what the moral of the story is yes, it will crash, and it will crash frequently, but it will always come back stronger. Now, how long that will take, that's hard to say. It could be a month, it could be 2 months, it could be 2 years, but just the technology behind all these currencies and coins is just so profound that it will have to come back over and over and over again.
Yeah. You're thinking, do I want to sell when it rebounds from the next crash? What you have to ask yourself is, do I believe in the technology behind it? If you personally don't, then maybe you should take your profits and sell out. If you do believe in the technology, then, hodl, because it's
hodl
go up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it also depends on your personal investment strategy. I mean, if your investment strategy is to just kind of stay in it short term and get some nasty profits out of it, then, when it rebounds from this little crash that we've seen in the first quarter here, or just in the first month, when it rebounds and it goes up, then just go ahead and sell off and take your profits, and then maybe buy back in later. It just depends on what you want to do with it.
Yeah, it's true. I think a lot of people, like when you look back at these year or 2 year old charts, people see the peaks and the valleys, and it's a very different world looking at a chart, on a 2 year scale and seeing these big wins and big drops. And then being in the middle of those, the people who are hanging on in the middle of them, really, like you said, they got a set of huevos on. I think that's the way you got to be if you want to carry this thing into the future. Yeah,
and while we're comparing like the crypto quote unquote bubble to the .com bubble, these crashes of 50, 60, 80%, they're so healthy for the market, and the .com bubble didn't see those. It just steadily increased and then just exploded. And the crypto market, it looks like it's exploding, but if you really scale out and look at it, the chart goes up and then it drops back down, and then it goes up a little higher, then it drops back down, and then it goes up a little higher and it drops back down. So it means steady steps throughout the years. The .com bubble just all of a sudden exploded, and then it was over. And this, we're looking at since 2009 here, we've got a pretty good data set where we can look at and see that Bitcoin specifically, it crashes, but it always comes back stronger.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Since 2013, it's crashed more than 20%, 18 times.
Exactly. You didn't see that with the .com bubble. Everybody's just so excited. .com, oh my God, I got to get on this new .com company. They're going to just be huge. Guitars.com, oh my God.
So with the .com bubble, a lot of these, what they would call FANG stocks, came out towards the end or after the .com bubble.
Where was Google?
Going to be what happens with the crypto markets.
Yeah, where was Google.com? Where was Amazon.com?
Yeah.
Those weren't in the .com bubble. That came afterwards. So my opinion, I think that the Google of cryptos hasn't even been thought of yet. It's not even in somebody's head yet. or it is, and it's just not really in development yet. I think that's going to come later. I don't think
Or it's EOS.
Stage. Or it's EOS. Or it's Dogecoin. I think that's really what it is. That's the future. That's the Amazon.
All right. I think with that is a good segue into the 3-on-3 fast break.
Music.
So each week we're going to pick 3 coins from the 300 level market cap and up and make our pitch for that coin. So we're going to give you a little overview of the coin. We're going to talk about the price, the market cap, supply, what does it do, and what potential does it have for the future. So I'm going to go ahead and start this one off. I picked the Uquid coin. Uquid is a euro-based, debit card-based coin. It's in the 300 market cap. I got to be honest with you. In the process of my research of the Uquid coin, I pretty much found out that it was total garbage. So there's about 5 other coins that have way better attributes. And so I know this is like the first 3-on-3, but I just real briefly, I'm going to talk about these other coins. So Centratec is, out of all the debit card coins, Centratec is really, that's the top coin. So it's not in the 300 range. It's got just a $10 card fee. So like the first time you get the card, so that's the lowest out of all the cards. Virtual card issuing fee is $1.25. Also one of the lowest of the virtual card issuing fee. No card physical annual fee. There's no virtual card annual fee. No foreign exchange fees. No card transaction fees. ATM withdrawal fees. Card spending limits are $5,000 on this debit card. You get an ATM withdrawal with this card. You get blockchain support. It's issued by Visa and MasterCard. So it actually has the logo, the insignia on it, so you can actually choose it places with your fiat. And it has an 8% transaction cardholder incentive. So it's really easy to find info on this coin. I know originally I picked Uquid, but the big draw against Uquid is that Uquid's card holding company, the company is actually backing their card, actually pulled out from them about 3 months ago. So nice. The fundamental thing that they do that makes them special has just been kind of ripped out from under them. Now, this could be a great buy opportunity for anybody who is looking for something super risky and with kind of a big upside. Because if they find somebody, they're going to be back in the game, and they very well may pretty rapidly.
You never know.
So Uquid is like some kind of debit card issuing.
Yeah, think about it. So a quid is like a British pound.
Yeah.
So Uquid, iQuid, RealQuid, or Uquid. It's okay. It's an okay coin. I think the big problems with the Quid coin is that it's $1 a month just for holding the physical card. It's $1 a month for holding the virtual card. It's got a 3% foreign exchange fee. It doesn't work in the United States. It doesn't work in Canada. So if you're gonna go get maple syrup, you're fucked.
Well, you really sold your coin, Tater.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be buying Uquid.
Don't buy Uquid, but do take a second and go take a look at Centratec. It actually seems like it's a coin that's kind of grabbed the decentralized movement, right? Built a debit card based cryptocurrency that falls in line with the things that we're trying to do as a space.
I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head for this 3-on-3 fast break. I mean, a lot of these coins are going to be very speculative. They're going to be in the phases where if they lose a partner, they could lose their appeal for that coin. So I mean, these are coins that are super risky that are probably either going up quickly or down quickly.
Yeah, this coin is at $1.97 right now. It's got 10 million circulating. It's only got 40 million coins, which is actually kind of interesting. I mean, this is only 40 million coins, and that's got to be one of the lowest total coin volumes.
Oh, there's lower. There is a coin out there, and I can't remember its name, but it's one coin. It's literally one coin. So one person owns it. Good luck going on exchange and finding that one person and trying to get them to sell it. but it's $1,200 coin. So you can spend your $1,200 and get that one coin.
Maybe the only owner of that coin.
Yeah, I don't know what you do with it. I don't know anything about it, but I just remember seeing it on CoinMarketCap. Just one coin is their circulating supply. Crazy.
There's so much gimmickry in the market. You know, it's like every different amalgamation, every different kind of creation of any different weird way that you can do something. There's a coin for it. All right, Prater, 3-on-3 fast break. Go.
Rivets, the RVT token. It's a cybersecurity protection solution. They don't currently have a working product, but that's going to be the case for a lot of these tokens, coins. It offers a simplified, intuitive approach to cybersecurity built around hardware-based identity. And I'd be lying to you if I understood what the technology meant behind this token and how it's going to work to secure your cell phone or computer. But it looked pretty interesting. So they're still working on getting the product out there. The team has years and years of experience in the field. Their CEO, Steven Sprague, worked for 14 years with Wave System Corporation, which basically does the same thing with enterprise companies. So their idea is to bring this to the consumer and allow you to encrypt your cell phone using blockchain technology. The coin has a market cap of 29 million, circulating supply of 26 million, and a total supply of 200 million. The current price is 118. So I think this coin definitely has a lot of potential for the future. I haven't heard of a whole lot of other coins or tokens. They're doing a lot with cybersecurity, and there's a lot going on in that field right now. So if they can get ahead of the game and produce a solid working product here, this coin, has potential to skyrocket.
Love it. Hesto, you got Paragon. What's up with that? 3-on-3 fast break. Go.
Okay, yeah, I got Paragon. Paragon, now CoinMarketCap, it's ranked 345th coin by market cap. So Paragon is in the medical marijuana field. Okay, and there's a lot of marijuana coins out there, or the coins that have to do with marijuana. They're trying to solve problems in the marijuana industry. There's Potcoin, which is trying to deal with the financial aspect of marijuana dispensaries storing their cash, because they obviously can't store it in a bank because it's federally illegal. But Paragon, what they're trying to do, they're not really focusing on the financial aspect of it. They're trying to create community for marijuana distributors, suppliers, growers, doctors, in the medical marijuana field. Okay, so right now, if you grow marijuana in the U.S., you want to sell it to a dispensary. Okay, the dispensary buys it, and then they trust that what they're getting is what you're telling them it is. So if you buy this specific strain of marijuana, you're trusting that strain came from the specific grower and is the strain that they say it is. Okay, but there's no real way to prove that. But if you integrate blockchain, everything can be verified. What type of soil it was grown in, what was the pH level, where was it grown, when was it grown, what were the seeds that were produced to make that strain. And then doctors can be integrated into this as well, because if they want a strain that helps social anxiety or helps depression or helps people with anorexia, they can get those strains from people right now, but how are they going to know for sure that strain is going to help with social anxiety? Now, they've already done all these tests to know which marijuana strains will help with these specific disorders, but how can you trust that it's coming from that grower and that it really is what they say it is? With blockchain, you could do that. So basically, they're trying to connect this, make this network and connect all these different marijuana industries into one global network that can communicate with each other. So, I think it's a great idea. Right now, their market cap is about $29 million, and their circulating supply is about 65 million coins with a total supply of 165 million coins. Right now, their price is about 41 cents. No, I do see them being somewhat successful, especially the larger the medical marijuana field grows in the U.S. I think the better they're going to do, obviously. because, I mean, if only a few states have it legal, then not that many people are going to need something like this. But if it becomes legal in the U.S. and even federally legal, then there's going to have to be some kind of network in place where doctors can trust suppliers, and suppliers can trust dispensaries, and so on and so on. So, no, I think there's a use case for it, and I like where they're going. Oh, and one thing I did notice on their website that I thought was funny is when I was looking at their team, they got a pretty solid team of developers and everything, but their head advisor was the rapper, The Game. He's their advisor. He's one of their advisors. I just thought that was funny.
That is pretty funny. And one thing I learned is that in the medical marijuana community, that anorexia nervosa can be cured by the munchies.
Exactly.
All right, guys. So we've learned a lot
quick
about
on the 3-on-3 fast break here. Obviously, we've mentioned this already, but these are very speculative coins, tokens, and any investing you do in these, please do your own research and look into them in depth before you decide to invest in any of these coins, and never invest money you can't lose.
Yeah, and guys out there, take a look at these coins. Take a look at the coins that we're talking about. Do your own research on the coins, and use this podcast as an opportunity to let us do the research to kind of find coins that are potentially interesting to you. So you find the coin, you do the research. Let us bring a couple up to your attention. All right, moving on. We got our coin focus of the week. We're looking at EOS. Why does EOS have so much potential, and is it a scam? Hesto, tell me a little bit about EOS and tell me why this coin that has the identical website page layout of every other scam coin, although well done, is not a scam.
I don't know. I happen to like their website. I think it's pretty. But
It's a beautiful website.
I don't think they're a scam. Basically, what they're trying to create is like an ecosystem for creating decentralized apps. So people have called them the Ethereum killer. I don't really know if they're the Ethereum killer. I think they are similar to Ethereum, but not exactly the same. They do offer smart contracts, and you can create decentralized apps. That's just like Ethereum, but they're kind of going a different route, because basically what they're trying to produce here is a platform where you can easily create decentralized apps. So if you wanted to create CryptoKitties or Ether Tweet, I don't know if you guys know what Ether Tweet is, but it's basically like Twitter, except it can't be censored or blocked or taken down because it's decentralized. So if you wanted to create a decentralized app like that, and you don't know anything about it, then you don't have to learn some specific code like Solidity for Ethereum. You can code it with anything. And they'll even have templates for you to easily begin creating your decentralized app. So anybody that just wants to create a dApp, they can use EOS as a platform to do so easier than they can with Ethereum. So I think basically that's what they're trying to do, and they use smart contract protocols to accomplish all this. But I think that's basically what they're trying to do, is just make it easier for people to create decentralized apps. Another thing that I like about EOS, one thing that they're doing is they are in their ICO right now, and they're doing a year-long ICO period, which is different from everybody else. Everybody kind of does this crowd sale, pre-ICO, then a ICO, and then they make a cap, and then once you hit that cap, the ICO is over. Well, they're doing a 12-month long ICO, so you can still get those cheap coins for a year. It's kind of like an experiment of what it seems like. Is EOS is just kind of trying this out to see if this is more successful than a traditional ICO. That's what we've been seeing for the last few months. So I kind of like that idea. They could definitely get more funding out of 12 months, I would think.
Well, supposedly they're doing it to give everybody an opportunity to be able to purchase their tokens and buy into the ICO. Because a lot of times when they do the pre-sale, 10%, 15%, 20%, 3 or 4 people are buying in right at the beginning and snatching up all the coins. and not everybody's being able to invest in the token, or as many people that may want to aren't being able to.
Yeah, and one thing I heard about their ICO is they do it on kind of a competitive basis, so they don't have those huge investors just buying up like a bunch of tokens in the ICO. So, if I wanted to buy 12 tokens and Brandon, you wanted to buy 10 tokens, I would win that little competitive segment. But then those competitive segments happen every, I don't know, few minutes or hours. I can't remember. So it's an interesting way to do it, but it kind of prevents, those huge whales from just investing over and over again, huge, large amounts and basically like eating up all the coins before it goes public.
So earlier we were talking about how this compares to Ethereum and how it compares to Neo. And I just want to make a broad point that if you were to merge the word Ethereum and Neo, also the logos of the two, it's almost uncanny that it's EOS. And it's a big diamond. Just
resident conspiracy theorist, right?
I mean, resident conspiracy theorist. I'm just saying, maybe I'm the only one that notices that, but it literally, because it is right. It's the same, broadly, it's the same concept of Ethereum, and it's the same concept as Neo, because those are almost identical coins, right? One is just the Chinese version of Ethereum.
Very, very similar, yeah.
So I think EOS is definitely doing a kind of a similar branding model here, for sure.
Let me throw a little fire on so on their website, they actually have a disclaimer that says the EOS tokens do not have any rights, uses, purposes, attributes, functionalities, or features, express or implied, including without limitation, any uses, purpose, attributes, functionalities, or features on the EOS platform.
Wait, so I don't know if I understood that exactly. They're saying that they don't do anything?
Basically, they do nothing.
I give them props for coming out and say that, because I mean,
legally do nothing. Well, they might have to.
But
most of these companies don't do anything, but they don't come out and say it. They're not honest about it like that.
So it's just for the
deniability, right?
The ICO phase. It's an ERC20 token that you get for the ICO. This is probably just to cover their bases legally, so that when they distribute their initial token for the ERC20 token, if something happens and you don't get it, they can say, oh, well. I personally think it's legit. I mean, it's being developed by Dan Larimer, who is the chief designer behind Steemit. They've already got other ICOs that are going to be started on their platform once it's live. I forget the name of it, the decentralized encyclopedia. I don't really remember the name of it. They're going to airdrop their tokens as soon as it goes live. So if you own EOS, register those tokens, then you will automatically receive these tokens. That being said, if you're weary about it, maybe you just wait until the actual EOS token comes out, because they're creating their own blockchain instead of buying the Ethereum token in the pre-sale, or not pre-sale, but ICO.
Yeah, but would you be losing out because you're not getting it at such a low price?
You very well could. And not only that, the RC20 token, you need to register it for it to be valid and you to be reimbursed for it.
Oh, geez. So it's like a mail-in rebate.
Once EOS goes live.
Yeah.
And you cannot invest as an American citizen. So I don't own an EOS.
I will not own any EOS tomorrow.
What country is it out of?
Well, that's another part. They're actually based out of the Cayman Islands.
Seems legit.
But no, I actually like.
Hey, I'm warming up to this. This is like cereal puffs.
Please explain.
Rice. It's like rice puff. You got Rice Krispies. And then you go into like H-E-B and then, or you go into Kroger and they have like rice puffs. Instead of Snap, Crackle, and Pop, it's like
Oh yeah, knockoff brand.
Yeah, it's like worse than not a private label, but it's like a really like a terrible copy brand potentially.
Yeah, but they grow on you, right?
Oh, they do grow on you.
I
And
always buy Rice Pops.
they're cheaper, and when you're broke as hell, you can, sometimes you're eating rice puffs. You're making rice puff treats. It's your marshmallows. That's cool. Okay, so EOS. I think, is it a scam? It's up for debate. We'll have to follow up with it in future episodes and figure out, how is this kind of panned out. But it could be a good opportunity to get into it, and it could be another risky situation, which I think a lot of what we talk about ends up being. So one of my favorite parts of the podcast, we're going to talk about the breakout coin of the week, find out which one of us is in the lead. Overall, last week, I picked ADA. It was at 60 cents. It is up to 66 cents. With a $100 investment, that puts me at $109.99. That's a win. Unfortunately, Heston invested in ARC $6, up to $6.61. $100 investment puts him at $110.12, puts me in last place, and P coming in first place with Neo at $131.45, up to $149.02 at $100 investment, puts him at $113.35 for the week. So that means overall for the week 2, we got Brandon in at 194.66 total win in the crypto market. Heston is at 186.38. Significantly lower, and Prater is in the lead by $1 at $195.24. Congratulations, Dustin.
I'll tell you what, that OMG screwed me 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it is true. It's interesting. Week one, everybody got hammered, and week 2, everybody won. Everybody was up.
Some were up more than others.
So overall, so overall, we're actually all down $5 to $15. We're talking right now. We got a total investment of $200, and I'm at $194.66. This is at $186.38, and Prater's at $195.24.
Yeah, well, that's the crypto market for you.
That is the crypto market for you, and that just goes to show why we say do your own research. Right, because even these picks that we've researched out and spent a lot of time, deep diving into, even these coins that are absolutely not anything like gambling, wink, are right now coming at it at a net negative. Still, when you're only losing $5, it's a lot of fun to play over 2 weeks.
Definitely. Okay. Well, what's y'all's coins for this week?
My coin for this week is Stellar. And to be completely honest with you, I have no particular reason why I picked Stellar. I just like it. I think it's going to do good this week. That's what I did last week, and I won last week, so I'm sticking to my guns.
Sounds like sound advice to me. All right. Well, my coin of the week is going to be Sia Coin. I've been watching Sia Coin for about 6 or 7 months now, and they have just gone up and up and up. I love Sia Coin. I think their idea of renting out your hard drive space and having a cloud-based storage decentralized app is a great idea. There's a lot of coins that do the same thing, but Sia Coin's my favorite of the bunch, and I think it's going to have a good week. It's because it's been down lately. It had a big jump run up from 0.004 cents to 10 cents in the past 2 months, and then all of a sudden it dropped all the way back to 2 cents. So I think it's gonna bounce back. My
coin for the week is OMG. I know Heston had a hard week with that week 1, but OMG has been a long-time favorite of mine to hodl. There is some issues right now that I'm trying to kind of detective out, and that's to find out. Everybody knows that they had the big deal with McDonald's, but the question is, did they really have a big deal with McDonald's? Because I think there's some confusion as to whether or not it's the OMG Omisego coin or it's the Omisego Omis. Right, the actual kind of PayPal complement in Southeast Asia. And then furthermore, there's a question of, even if it is just a PayPal version of OMG, does that then leave room for them to kind of slide the ability in to take the coin in there as well? And so I think that's still up in the air. That's why it's my kind of my long-term hodl. So OMG coming in at $16.68 with a $100 investment, coming in big for week 3. So I think that about wraps everything up for this episode of the D. Do us a favor, send your questions and comments to info@decentralizedtalk.com or check us out on Twitter at DTalkPodcast. And as always, feel free to post your questions to our forum. We do read and personally answer every question, so let them rip. And don't be afraid, because regardless of what it may seem like, this thing is still in its infancy and everybody is new with it. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night.